Hi everyone. Um, Welcome to joining about the Snack and Learn webinar today. Good evening. So today we will go to have a presentation about the current challenge of BIM industry in Hong Kong and benefit of using OpenBIM. So I'm your presenter today. I'm Clifford Phung. I'm the Managing Director of AEDS, Advanced Engineering and Digital Service. So also we have our second speaker, Cecilia Wen. She is our BIM leader. Hello, Cecilia.
Hello everyone, I'm Cecilia from Hong Kong BIM team.
Yes. I'm glad to start the presentation now. So today this is our agenda. I will discuss about the introduction of Hong Kong BIM experience and also carry out about the current challenges. And later on, Cecilia will present to you about the introduction of OpenBIM and also the pros and cons of using OpenBIM. Following is about the Q&A section. So WSP Hong Kong office has 1,500 employees. So we have already developed about BIM team for 10 years. We have over 200 BIM users. Among 3,000 current projects, we have almost over 200 local projects, which is involved heavily in BIM. So how our BIM digital journey start? Indeed, we have our vision for the BIM, and actually, we would like to turn this BIM challenge into the opportunity. So we begin our digital journey in back to 2009. By that time, it's quite early, so we do about mainly about the coordination of the combined surface building drawing building, and also we do a lot of BIM management. In 2019, we start doing some 4D facing planning and design, and then we do some scan to the BIM. After that, we follow about the full cloud collaboration, and currently we are doing about some integration with operating system using BIM. So this is because we believe that the construction has to be digitalized. So our digital construction's life cycle is divided into 4 parts in general, like the design stage, the detailed design, and also the construction design and operation and facility management. During the design stage, we can use about the 3D scanning and also do some 4D simulation for engineering analysis. In the detailed design stage, we will do some virtual rendering and some quantity taking off. We say QTO. So in detailed design, we also particular do some important thing because we will do some 4D simulation for the construction sequence. After completion about the BIM model in the detailed design stage, we will do forward about the construction design because the BIM model can be used to do some virtual visual mockup and also some COBE for the facility management, as well as doing some RC and formwork design. It is one of the very important thing is we can establish about the BIM model to embed some smart solution on site. Not only about that, after completion of the construction, the BIM model can be also be a SBU model, and it is very important because it can facilitate about the asset management and also the FM and IoT application. So our experience in BIM applications, what are they? Let me share with you. Our Hong Kong office has already developed a lot of BIM experience in the project. First of all, as said, we will do some scan to BIM. Why we need to do so? Because during the planning stage, we need to do some 3D existing conditions modeling. And also by doing the scan to BIM, we can do some operation stage, have some SBU model for verification of our design. Here is some project we have already participated in using the scan to BIM function. Then everyone know that BIM we have 3D, 4D, and 5D. For 3D coordination, definitely it helps for the design stage. And also for the 4D time construction, we can do it in the planning stage as well as also in the construction stage. So this is particularly important because we can let the project team to hand over about the material delivery or the resource planning as well. And also, in particular, doing some quantity kicking off for the 5D is also very important, and it will ease the lot of effort from the QS as well. Then not only talking about the BIM doing those kind of function, but also we can have some design performance. Once we completed about the BIM model, we can do a lot of design performance virtually, like the data analysis, the virtual visual mockup, and also some site line analysis. As well as we can do some sweat path simulation, which is very critical and very precise. Apart from the virtual one, we can do some physical inspection because we can, based on our BIM model, to do our BIM cave so that we can experience what we will design and what will it be. But after having this kind of development of the BIM, so indeed we have facing a lot of quite a challenge, and there is a chance for us to share with you. Okay, so majorly there are four stakeholders. We think that there are still some improvement. Like we need the general people have more knowledge about the BIM, what it is, and also during the implementation of the project budget has to be allowed for the designer to do the works, as well as the engineer to design the BIM model has to be very familiar rather than using the traditional design approach. Lastly, about the stakeholder is the contractor because they build the work. But we need the BIM model to be part of the contract. Also, there is also a transition from traditional project planning to BIM project planning. It is very difficult sometimes to convince those professionals to do the BIM because they don't believe that the BIM is more efficient for doing the implementation process. And they think that it is a challenge. But indeed, we have to demonstrate that by using BIM project planning, it will be more efficient and the overall project can gain benefit. How to do it? We can do a well preparation of the workflow by using and adopting a better, good BIM execution plan. Another challenge we are thinking of talking about the lack of deep understanding of the BIM and also the BIM standard, because most of the people are very generic understanding about the BIM. They don't have some lack of BIM standard, and they don't know how the BIM can assist the project. Indeed, our in-house WSP Hong Kong team has already developed a lot of BIM standard, and we have shared it with the team members so that we can gain and to deliver a project BIM related material. We align our goal with the project clients, establish project execution plan in order to facilitate BIM implementation very efficiently. So here are some examples. We have built up a lot of in-house BIM standard, which is already got the certification of ISO 19650, which is talking about the guideline for developing of the project-specific BIM standard and also BIM related material. You can also see that we can have already gained and build up a very strong content library for those parametric BIM objects, which is based on the real product. Why we need to build a real product? Because once we plug in those kind of objects, that means it will be a SB model as well. So it facilitates time for the construction. And it is one of the challenge. It is over around the BIM forum. It's talking about we talk too little about what we should stop doing it. What does that mean? That means BIM is constantly coming to an in addition to, but however, BIM is indeed already executed in many construction projects. But the people around there is still thinking old way. What is the old way? Is the document center world. That means they're guided or bounded by the statutory submission. So although some people they thinking digitalization is just a simple way of electrifying paper, But this is not the case. In this, it must revolve around a model and data-centric approach in all process throughout the BIM implementation. So this is the real BIM. It will facilitate about the project. So this come to the my recommendation, because we need some new model concept. Because by using BIM, we can generate a lot of thinking. We can do the rebar fixing, we can do the digital twins, we can do the augmented reality using BIM to do a lot of things. We have to bring ourselves to a new era to develop our technology, not only about architecture, but also about engineering. So we also want to introduce you another concept about the open BIM, which is presented by Cecilia. So Cecilia, please.
Thank you, Clifford. Another challenge of BIM in Hong Kong is related to the interoperability across different software. We need BIM data to be open, live, and available for all project stages. BIM data doesn't belong in proprietary format. Open data become particularly important for the development of digital twin, where all kinds of data shall be able to collect or share without too much barrier. In the construction industry, each project team are established across different organizations and disciplines. They will have different tools to share information with each other, and the data generated in the initial design stage to be usable without re-entry for the next stage. It cannot have a true open BIM workflow without interoperable software. Interoperability is about freedom to work with the best in any discipline, and for them to use the tools they are most comfortable and productive with. This is the foundation for OpenBIM. And according to the research to an analysis of capital facilities project in US, the project stakeholder need to spend extra time to deal with the interoperability problem and worsen the collaboration between the discipline, which result in raising the cost for approximately 17 billion US dollar. Therefore, by using an open BIM strategy, it's not only improving the interoperability and improve the project workflow throughout the project cycle. And so, what is open BIM? It is the multidisciplinary process to create and manage the information model in open format. It extends the concept of BIM by identifying the use of common language made up of international data standards and procedure to ensure a real advantage for all stakeholders. There is an organization called Building Smart. It's a non-profit organization driving the digital transformation of the built environment. It has developed a series of standardized solutions to support the built environment in relation to the use of open data. And so here is the general workflow of OpenBIM. We begin the BIM project with the 3D model based on a specified OpenBIM approach and to be shared via the Common Data Platform, CDE. The model will continue to update as necessary to achieve different BIM uses with the application of different software. So once the link with the BIM model has been created with this application, changes can be made. And each single workflow will need a common data language for the software to communicate mutually. So all these properties of the application need to export as a specified OpenBIM data file. So by this way, the BIM model which the user work on will include all the consolidated information that has been generated amongst the specific application that can be used without certain restriction. There are quite a few types of open data which the Building Smart have suggested. The three common types of the open data which most of the project team try to achieve in Hong Kong are IFC, BCF, and COBE. The first one is the IFC, Industrial Foundation Classes, which can be used to share information consistently, enabling information exchanges across different software and databases. The next one is the BCF, the BIM collaboration format, which is a model-based software independent communication protocol. It's an open file format that introduces a workflow communication capability connected to the IFC model. It allows different BIM applications to communicate model-based issues with each other by leveraging an IFC model that have been previously shared among project collaborators. So the next one is the COBE, the Construction Operation Building Information Exchange, which is more familiar by everyone. It aims to collect information during design and construction stage based on the Building Smart IFC data model, which is ready for handover to the building facility management for further uses. And here is a sample workflow for OpenBIM with the software commonly used in Hong Kong. Here, the consultant starts the design and the BIM modeler will create the discipline model. The BIM manager will recommend the model view definition, MVD, that is to design which data and elements to be included and it is to be used in the model. The MVD will then be the project standard, followed by project members for exporting IFC files and communicating on a CDE platform. If you share it in native file format, such as with a file, anyone can make changes easily in the original model. But if the model is shared in OpenBIM format, then the data is viewable, measurable, and usable. The model content is therefore protected. The original file cannot be altered by any other member. So OpenBIM supports transparent and open workflow. It also allows all project members to participate regardless of software tools they use. This is the same case for the contractor during the construction stage. And I know it sounds complicated, so let's make it simple. We write a document and share it with somebody. We usually do it in a PDF format, which allows us to see the document, add comments and suggestions, but the original text cannot be changed. However, if it's not the same when you share the same document in a Word format, the original text can be changed easily. This is the same concept for BIM. Whether IFC, BCF, etc., it will need to satisfy at least one or many exchange requirements of the industry. The method used and propagated by Building Smart is the Information Delivery Manual, IDM, also the ISO 29481. Others such as file format for storing data or exchange 3D and 2D data will need to refer different ISO standards. Hong Kong has our own local standard, for example, the Local Authority of Construction Industry Council and the BIM Harmonization Code by Development Bureau, which are also developed based on ISO 19650. And I'm going to share with you one of our project reference, which is called the Henderson. It will be the new landmark building in Hong Kong in 2023. WSP Asia is the MEP consultant for this project. It features the sculptural cutting edge and curved glass design, which is the first to adopt in Hong Kong. It has implemented the OpenBIM best practices from design to construction stages. So in this project, we have used more than 15 software among the project team. The Henderson facade is very special. The biaxial curved insulating glass panel is very challenging for its production. Therefore, the exchange of data between individual trades is very important to enhance successful coordination towards fabrication. Here, the BIM manager has been coordinated with different parties at the beginning to align the suitable types of software to be used in different project stages and the way of it to be exchanged. The facade engineer is adopting both CATIA and Rhinoceros for the facade design, and then the BIM modeler with reference from the design model to further enhance the 3D model by using different BIM software. And this model will be shared to designated parties on Trimble Connect and further analyzed by using the work. All of them are to be shared in IFC format and all the issues to be recorded on BIM track in BCF format. If the design changes may require, it can generate as BCF or IFC data back to offering software which later to be used in the design software for review. Some of this software needed to rely on external plugin or API developed by the in-house programmer to generate an OpenBIM format so it can further communicate between parties. This project has successfully implemented and adopted OpenBIM that create a common language with transparent engagement between stakeholders. It has been recently gained the Grand Award by the Building Smart as one of the landmark OpenBIM projects. So for the pros and cons, certainly it has more pros than cons by adopting OpenBIM approach. First, every project member are able to use the best tools for their particular workflow without being locked into each other. And secondly, any stakeholder can access the BIM model without interfering the native design model. And then all the system being used on a BIM project can communicate with each other, which reduce the chances of compatibility error and the time for all the project members to deal with the interoperability problem that may result in going back to traditional workflow and a back collaboration. With OpenBIM, the worst case scenario is that due to technology limitation, some software or even no existing tools can read your data. So you will need add-in to further facilitate the process between them. It's advised to have your in-house BIM programmer ready to deploy some application programming interface that is API to enhance the data exchange smoothly. And in addition, when there are too many different types of software, it may be a tactic to generate a lot of IFC files and to properly manage them. And finally, of course, you will need an experienced BIM manager who can design what to use at different stage. So let's hope that one day when both BIM and OpenBIM get more popular and steady, everything will be as easy as generating a PDF.
Thank you, Cecilia. So let me conclude about the presentation. The BIM challenge can be actually overcome by more proactive promotion and the BIM use and its workflow, so that all those stakeholders can understand about the benefit of using BIM, so they can trust that the model can help. And also by giving them more in-depth training or to the project member, it will be much better for us to deliver about the BIM model. And also, particularly, we need to allow more time and project budget for BIM implementation. Eventually, the overall project will be benefit. So lastly, is talking about the OpenBIM. This is one of the solutions which today we recommend, and also we want to try to explore about which OpenBIM can be helping for all BIM based project can be implemented successfully. So so here is come to the end of our presentation, and it is our the question Q&A section.
Thank you, Clifford and Cecilia, for this fantastic presentation. So before moving into the Q&A period, I would like to remind attendees to enter your questions in the question box on the GoToWebinar platform, and also you can download the PDF version of this presentation from the handout box on the dashboard. I will start with the first question. Okay, thank you, Cecilia. I will start with the first question that we received. This is regarding the removal of the traditional protocol of BIM. Will it cause more issues to the project, for example, in the phases of the projects?
I think maybe Cecilia can help to answer about this one.
Okay. No, I don't think so, because the adoption of OpenBIM will enable and encourage more software to develop using common data language. So the project team can have more variety in the choices of software, and it may help to develop more BIM use, and I believe it can cause less issue.
Thank you. The next question is, how do you see the OpenBIM platform use in digital twin, and any future plans from WSP on this?
Okay, maybe I answer this question. How do we do the OpenBIM platform? The OpenBIM strategy now has created a bridge allowing different software to communicate each through this different degree or agreed protocol. So the data can be easily extracted or integrated together with the digital twin platform. If the data cannot be shared easily or cannot be shared smoothly, the digital platform will be too heavy to take up all those data because it is too difficult to manage about those big data at the back end. So I think this respond about the way how OpenBIM is important for using the adopt into the digital twins. Yeah.
Thank you. The next question says like this. It seems that a model asking to work on rebar is very rare. What is your experience and client requirements to work on such model?
Yes, maybe also answer about this question. Yeah, in Hong Kong in particular, they're doing the rebar model in using BIM is very, very rare because basically it's not ready for all engineers doing their design to thinking about how to do the rebar scheduling or bar bending schedule. So this is a difficulty for engineer for the design stage. But for the BIM, it's also because all those BIM are not engineer, they are not the designer of the reinforcement. So this is also very difficult for them to do to understand about the design concept. So lastly is talking about the rebar fixer. The rebar fixer actually they don't know how to do the rebar design and also they don't know how to use BIM. So we need the industry to know to conglomerate all those three sector people. They have all three sector mindset together so that they can generate about this kind of doing the rebar model. So we hope in the future even the technology of the Refit model, Refit software, they can also enhance about this kind of adaptability. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is how to deploy a WSP project template and BIM standards in OpenBIM environment.
And I will
maybe
take these questions.
Okay.
And I think when you set up the template and your own BIM standard, you will have to consider a few things. Firstly, the workability of the software between each other and the open data export setting. And then the second, you will need to select the software for model offering or reviewing, which support the OpenBIM workflow. For example, the software like the Visual BIM Vision or OpenBIM Viewer, and then you should finalize the updated list of the file format, IFC, BCF, etc. for reviewing. And then you will have to define the OpenBIM workflow and standard for specific project by way of MVD and IFC. For the project template, you should also consider the collaboration method as well. And also the BIM manager play a very important role before commencing a project. He or she must communicate with all the parties and discuss the suitable choice and version of software which are to be used. And he will also need to agree and deploy a suitable template to different disciplines, which is to facilitate the related BIM user later, the BIM users later. For example, the drawing issuance. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is relating to MEP design. How does the implementation of BIM facilitate MEP design, especially for electrical design?
Cecilia, do you have a
I will
maybe
question
try?
as well. And as far as I know, there are some design software developed based on the BIM environment. And the MEP engineer is using Clifford for modeling, for example. There is some BIM plugin for the Clifford which can generate the circuits from the spaces in the model and allow the maximum number of receiver for each circuits to be configured. You may then select the spaces in the OpenBIM view. It helps to visualize and oversee the overall design. Some plugin allows to retrieve the collection details or generate with label, which can help faster production of the electricity drawing. But of course, each country will have different set of layout or code to compliance. If you have a BIM API programmer, he can help to further refine and just for the best to suit your local authority.
Thank you. I will take the last question. We have many additional questions that will be answered directly by the presenters via email. Thank you for submitting all these questions. The last question is how can we start up a BIM team in a small scale contracting company?
Okay. This is a very interesting, good question because building to build up a BIM team from a small company, indeed the investment is quite large. So in Hong Kong, actually, we have some CITFs subsidized, so we can apply those kind of application to acquire some equipment as well. But BIM team is a very unique team. So like just now I presented, we also sharing about those BIM technology or the latest add-in or the creation from around the world. So the selection of BIM team member is very important because it's better for the people who can communicate much better and open to the BIM forum to discuss. So I think to start up with a BIM team, definitely we need to recruit some people, but for equipment wise, we can, in Hong Kong in particular, it's good because we can get some subsidy from the CITF funding. Yeah. Thank you.
Fantastic, thank you. So we're at the end of our webinar session. Please feel free to follow up directly with Clifford and Cecilia via the contact details shown on the screen. And I would like to thank all attendees for joining today. Thank you very much for your time. And thank you, Clifford and Cecilia, for this fantastic presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.